Pranam to you. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai. Please take over, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desha Tarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8. We are starting a new chapter, chapter 4, and we are going to go from text 1 onwards. So, what has happened so far? We have seen Gajendra struggling and fighting with the crocodile in that huge lake for 1000 celestial years. It's not even human years on earth, it's 1000 celestial years. So it's a very, 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 very long time. So even after fighting for such a long time, Gajendra was losing the battle. So he knows my time is coming to an end because crocodiles, natural element is water. Elephant cannot sustain that much in that water. So I have fought all I could, and I am not able to continue any longer. So then he offers the prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't even name anybody. He just says Supreme Personality, Paramatma, like that. He offers, like the whole chapter, previous chapter was like the prayers of Gajendra. So at the end of the prayers, the Supreme Lord in his four-armed form flew on Garuda to save his devotee Gajendra. So let's see what happens from that point onwards. So, Canto 8, Chapter 4, Text 1. Sukadeva Goswami is speaking. Shri Sukha Uvacha Tada Devarshi Gandharva Brahmeshana Purogama Mumuchu Kusumasaram Samsanta Karmadad Hare. Shri Sukha Uvacha. Shri Sukadeva Goswami said, Tada, at that time when Gajendra was delivered, Deva Rishi Gandharva, the demigods, sages, and Gandharvas, Brahma Ishana Purogama, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, Mumuchuhu, showered, Kusuma Saram, a covering of flowers, Samsantaha, while praising, Karma, transcendental activity, Tat, that, what? Gajendra Mokshana, Hare, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, when the Lord delivered Gajendra, king of the elephants, all the demigods, sages, and Gandharvas, headed by Brahma and Shiva, praised this activity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and showered flowers upon both the Lord and Gajendra. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is evident from this chapter that great sages like Devala Rishi, Narada Muni, and Agastya Muni will sometimes curse someone. The curse of such a personality, however, is in fact a benediction. Both the crocodile, who had been a Gandharva in his previous life, and Gajendra, who had been a king named Indradyumna, were cursed, but both of them benefited. Indradyumna, in his birth as an elephant, attained salvation and became a personal associate of the Lord in Vaikuntha. And the crocodile regained his status as a Gandharva. We find evidence in many places that the curse of a great saint or devotee is not a curse but a benediction. It seems contradictory, right? At least from our normal human perspective, somebody is being cursed, they have to suffer. But here, it is being taken as a greatest benediction. Benediction means we get a blessing and we get some benefits. So let's see what that actually means, how to resolve that contradiction. So the reason Prabhupada is making this statement is King Indradyumna was cursed by Agastya Muni, and that's why he became the elephant in his next life. And there was a king of Gandharvas. We will see in the next purport, Prabhupada will be explaining that. That king of the Gandharvas was uh, playing a prank on Devala Rishi, and Devala Rishi cursed them to become a crocodile in that same lake where he played a prank on Devala Rishi. So both of them received a curse. Then how could that be considered a benediction? So when we are looking at things from a material perspective, it is only about I, me, and mine. What do I get? Do I get what I am desiring? If I get what I desire, it is a blessing. If I don't get what I desire, then it is a suffering. And so that is a mundane material conception of life. But the spiritual conception of life is anything and everything that brings us closer to the Supreme Lord or having a darshan of the Supreme Lord is the greatest benediction. So, what happened in this case? For both the crocodile and the elephant, they got direct darshan of the Supreme Lord. How fortunate they are. So, Gandharva is a celestial being living in the upper planetary systems. And they are very well known for their musical abilities and their singing abilities. When they sing, like it captivates everybody. So they are always having party, singing, dancing, and enjoying in the upper planetary systems. So in such a condition, where is the time to think about the Supreme Lord or even having darshan of the Supreme Lord? But since he played a prank on a saintly personality like Devala Rishi, Devala Rishi is not like on a normal human plane. He is slightly above the human plane because of his tapasya and various other spiritual practices. So when such a person gives a curse, it automatically bridges the gap that the person has with the Supreme Lord, and immediately in one lifetime, that Gandharva could see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and God, even the body of the crocodile was like cut by the Sudarshan Chakra. So just by the darshan, all of his sinful reactions were wiped clean. He did not have any sinful reactions, and he went back to resume his Gandharva life in the upper planetary systems. Let's come to Gajendra. So Indradyumna, he was Indradyumna in the previous life, and he was practicing bhakti, and he was in a trance, a samadhi state when Agastya Muni came with his disciples to his a hermitage where he was doing the Indradyumna was doing the meditation. He did not even know that he had come because he was in a spiritual trance. But Agastya Muni said, "You are dull like a elephant's consciousness, so you better become an elephant." So that curse was there. But what happened? He was personally rescued by the Supreme Lord, and when the Supreme Lord touched him, he attained his spiritual form. What was that form? We are going to see later on in the chapters, in the beginning chapters itself, in this verses in this chapter. He attained the four-armed form like Narayana. We will see what that is and everything in subsequent verses. But that was the benediction that Indradimna got because of practicing bhakti in his previous life, even though it was not completed, even though he was cursed to become an elephant. He remembered the Supreme Lord because of practicing bhakti and offered prayers to that Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord came rushing to save his devotee from the crocodile. And not only saved him, he liberated him from material life. So that is what is being talked about by Prabhupada in the purport. So let's continue. Text 2. नेदुर्दुन्दुभयो दिव्या गन्धर्वाननृतुर्जगुः ऋषयश्चारणा सिद्धास्तुष्टुवु पुरुषोत्तमम्. Translation. There was a beating of kettle drums, dundubi. That's why it says dundubaya in plural, kettle drums. There was a beating of kettle drums in the heavenly planets. The inhabitants of Gandharva Loka began to dance and sing, while great sages and the inhabitants of Charnaloka and Siddhaloka offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottama. So Gandharvas are known for their singing and dancing, and when their own king got freed from the curse from the body of a crocodile, again it was a time for jubilation. So they began to sing and dance. And what did the great sages do? Because all those tapasvis and yogis, these sages are in the topmost planetary system, just below Brahmaloka. There is a loka called Siddhaloka. So there they were offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we'll come to this. This is very significant. How immediately these personalities offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 3 and 4. Yosau graha savai sadhya Paramascharya Rupadrik Mukto Devala Sapena Uhur Gandharva Sattamaha Pranamya Sirasadisham Uttama Shlokam Avyayam Agayata Yashodama Kirtanya Gunasatkatam. Translation. The best of the Gandharvas, King Hu, having been cursed by Devala Muni, had become a crocodile. Now, having been delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he assumed a very beautiful form as a Gandharva. Understanding by whose mercy this had happened, he immediately offered his respectful obeisances with his head and began chanting prayers just suitable for the Transcendental Lord, the Supreme Eternal, who is worshipped by the choicest verses. Purport. The story of how the Gandharva had become a crocodile will be described later. The curse by which the Gandharva took this position was actually a blessing, not a curse. One should not be displeased when a saintly person curses someone for his curse. Indirectly is a blessing. The Gandharva had the mentality of an inhabitant of the celestial planetary system, and for him to become an associate of the Supreme Lord would have taken millions of long years. However, because he was cursed by Devala Rishi, he became a crocodile, and in only one life was fortunate enough to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face and be promoted to the spiritual world to become one of the Lord's associates. Similarly, Gajendra was also delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when he was freed from the curse of Agastya Muni. So, we all of us are at a certain level. Either we can go up from that level, or we can degrade ourselves or downgrade ourselves and keep going down and down and down. This is called the transmigration. Every lifetime, because this lifetime ends and we take another birth and we are given another material body. What material body do we get is dependent upon our own desires and also our actions and reactions to those actions. So all these determine what kind of a body we are going to get in our next life. And we do more actions in that life, and if we determines what. So like that, in a human form of life, either we can grow up, evolve, or we can go down. So let's look at this curse of a saintly person again. The Supreme Lord we see in the Puranas that he comes and kills the asuras, the demons, demoniac persons. It looks like very cruel and brutal, but what we fail to see is when they are getting killed directly by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all their sinful reactions are getting totally wiped out clean, nullified. They start with a clean slate again. They are not delivered from this material birth and death cycle yet, because that happens only when an atma takes to bhakti and perfects the life in bhakti. Then the deliverance from the material life happens. But until then, we are still carrying lots of reactions to our material actions. Each one of our material actions has corresponding material reactions, and we are carrying a huge load, each one of us. When it is going to, how it is going to get, we have to, whether it is a positive reaction or a negative reaction, the soul has to face the reaction. And we are performing actions every single moment, and we are producing reactions every single moment, and then we are accumulating all our reactions like that. It's too heavy a burden. And how many lifetimes it will take? Millions of lifetimes will do. And by that millions of lifetimes, we would have performed even more actions and accumulated even more reactions. So eternally we are carrying the huge load. So how is it possible to reduce those reactions? Only by the Supreme Lord. Immediately he can get rid of all those material reactions and wipe our plate clean. So the very act of the Supreme Lord killing these Asuric persons or these saintly personalities giving the curse, on a short term level, it might look like it is a punishment. But when we look at from the long term perspective, basically they are doing a very merciful job of uplifting that soul from a very down position to a very high position. Even when they uplift even one level or couple of levels, even that is a bigger blessing, because the soul is rising from a lower level to a higher level. So upliftment is the key word. We have to see the long term effect of even the Supreme Lord killing the demoniac persons or the saintly persons cursing. The long term effect is upliftment of that soul. When that happens, it is a benediction. So in that perspective only all these explanations are being given, and that is the perspective we have to train ourselves to look at things from. So that's one thing. And secondly, this king of Gandharvas, his name is given as Uhu. Nice name. And then he has been cursed by Devala Muni to become a crocodile. And now he has been delivered from the body of a crocodile, and he has become a Gandharva. He has acquired his Gandharva form again. But when he attained that, he immediately looks around and see how did this happen? Who delivered me? And he sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead in four-armed form standing before him. So he immediately understood, oh, this is the personality that has delivered me from this curse, from and then delivered me from the body of a crocodile, and now I have regained my original Gandharva form. When somebody has done something to help us, what is the normal reaction? We thank them. And here, it's not a normal person that has come to help. It is the very supreme personality of Godhead that has personally come. So immediately, this Gandharva, what does he do? He offers his respectful obeisances with his head. So he falls down on the ground and with his head at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord, whether he is standing in his original spiritual form or whether he is standing in his Archamurti Vigraha form in the temples or in our homes. The moment we are in the presence of the Supreme Lord, the first thing that we have been trained to do is offer obeisances. It's such a big thing. We think that it is a very, very simple, even ordinary action. No, it's not. Offering obeisances to saintly personalities and the Supreme Lord is altogether at a different level. Every moment, every single time that we are offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord or his representatives, the saintly personalities, devotees, our sinful reactions are getting burned away. Just like that. And here, this Gandharva is also feeling gratitude. He is feeling very grateful. Oh, I've been suffering in the form of body of a crocodile, and I have been liberated, and I have gotten my Gandharva form, and not only a Gandharva form, all my sinful reactions have also been wiped clean just by seeing the Supreme Lord and being seen by the Supreme Lord. An interesting thing is narrated about the Kurukshetra battle that we hear about in Mahabharata, right? One side was Duryodhana and his huge army, and on the other side was where the Pandavas with their army. Duryodhana's army was much bigger and more powerful personalities were present because just Bhishma alone is enough to wipe out the armies on both the sides single-handedly. He was that powerful. That's why Duryodhana was so cocky and arrogant that my victory is sure because Bhishma is there, Drona is there, Karna is there, and so many other powerful personalities are there. And then I have the Yadu army of Krishna also. A portion of Krishna's army is with me. My army is huge. Numbers are great. So eventually I will become victorious and Pandavas will be vanquished. But he did not understand that the Supreme Lord was present on the other side. And the acharyas commented when they are describing all these people who are getting killed in the battlefield, they are getting killed in the presence of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So everybody who died on the battlefield in the presence of Lord Krishna, all their sinful reactions were wiped clean. That is the benediction they got because they were being seen by the Supreme Lord and they were leaving their bodies in the presence of the Supreme Lord. So their sinful reactions were getting wiped clean. So that is a similar thing is happening here with the Gandharva. He was liberated by the Supreme Lord and he was having darshan of the Supreme Lord and he was being seen by the Supreme Lord and all his sinful reactions got wiped out. So he was so feeling so grateful. He was feeling so light, and everything is crystal clear because there are no material contamination contaminating his consciousness. So that's why he offered his respectful obeisances with his head, and he began chanting prayers just suitable for the transcendental Lord. So he is like carefully choosing his prayers and verses and glorifying and offering prayers to the Supreme Lord. This is the thing that we see right from the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, offering obeisances and offering prayers to the Supreme Lord, which is two of the limbs of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, all these things are there. So, offering obeisances and offering prayers are also bhakti activities. So, immediately he is offering prayers, thanking, and also glorifying, because we saw the previous chapter was full prayers by Gajendra. What was he doing? He was glorifying the Supreme Lord, giving the actual understanding of who the Supreme Lord is, what his position is, what are all the various expansions like Paramatma and other, and what they do. He is good. When Kunti Maharani is offering prayers in Canto 1, Bhishma Dev is offering his prayers in Canto 1. Like that, we see so many of these elevated devotees when they are remembering the Lord, when they are in the presence of the Lord, the first thing they do is Namo Namaha. They offer obeisances. And Namaha means offering oneself completely at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. That's what Namaha means. So they offer themselves and then they bow down and keep their head at the lotus feet. Basically, it indicates surrender. You are my master. I am just a tiny little being here. And then they offer, in the form of prayers, they glorify the wonderful nature of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord. So that is what this Gandharva is doing. Text 5. सोऽनुकम्पित ईशेन परिक्रम्य प्रणम्यतं लोकस्य पश्यतो लोकं स्वमागन्मुक्तकिल्बिषः. Translation: Having been favored by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and having regained his original form, King Hu circumambulated the Lord and offered his obeisances. Then, in the presence of all the demigods headed by Brahma, he returned to Gandharvaloka. He had been freed of all sinful reactions. So there comes that. Just because having been delivered by the Supreme Lord and having been seen by the Supreme Lord, and he also saw the beautiful spiritual form of the Supreme Lord, he has been freed from all sinful reactions. Oh, what a wonderful feeling it is. No more load to carry. And after having seen the Supreme Lord, the natural thing he is going to do is throughout his life, he is going to remember only the Supreme Lord. He is going to be engaged in bhakti. That is the biggest benediction that Gandharva got. So at the end of that Gandharva life, he will go back to the spiritual world to be with the Supreme Lord and all his devotees. How many millions of lifetimes it would have taken, or it would not even happen, and he would have eternally been in the material existence. But this happened. And because of that, all his sinful reactions have been removed, and he is now fully in remembrance of the Supreme Lord and in bhakti. And that's it. Yes, the rest of his life will be in perfection because of that bhakti. And then at the end of that life, he will go back to the spiritual world. So that's what this Gandharva got. So let's see what Gajendra got. Gajendro Bhagavat Sparshat Vimukto Jnana Bandhanat Prapto Bhagavato Rupam Pitavasas Chaturbhujaha. Beautiful. Pitavasa, wearing yellow garments. Who wears yellow garments? According to our scriptures, it is Krishna and his expansions. Like he could be Narayana, he could be coming in a different form, but he comes in yellow garments. And Balaram always is known for wearing blue garments. So Balaram, Nityan Prabhu, they are all wearing blue garments. All these are according to the scriptural descriptions. So Pitavasaha, wearing yellow garments. Chaturbhujaha, four-handed with conch shell, disc, club, and lotus. But this Chaturbhujaha, let's see to whom it refers to. Because Gajendra, king of the elephants, had been touched directly by the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was immediately freed of all material ignorance and bondage. Thus, he received the salvation of Sarupya Mukti, in which he achieved the same bodily features as the Lord, being dressed in yellow garments and possessing four hands. So, what has happened here is just because he was directly touched by the Supreme Lord, he got not only all the material reactions, sinful reactions went away, all the material ignorance and bondage. Basically, his material existence completely came to an end. He immediately attained his spiritual form. And what was the form that was given to this Gajendra? The same four-armed form of the Lord in Vaikuntha, Narayana form, four arms, and same yellow garments, same Chaturpuja, four arms holding um, uh, conch shell, disc, club, and lotus. So, in translation, Prabhupada gives it as Sarupya Mukti. There are different kinds of liberation explained in the scriptures, and one of them is Sarupya. Sarupya means the same form as the Supreme Lord. So Gajendra Indradyumna got a liberation. And what kind of a liberation? The same form of the Supreme Lord. Now, Supreme Lord is going to take him to his abode, the spiritual world, where he is going to eternally exist in that same four-armed form like the Supreme Lord. That is what is called Sarupya Mukti. Rupa is form. So, similar form like this four-armed Narayana form, that was what was given to Gajendra. Purport. If one is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead by having his gross body touched by the Lord, his body turns into a spiritual body and he can go back home, back to Godhead, back to the spiritual world. Gajendra assumed a spiritual body when his body was touched by the Lord. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaja assumed his spiritual body in this way. Archana Paddhati, daily worship of the deity, provides an opportunity to touch the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus it enables one to be fortunate enough to get a spiritual body and go back to Godhead, not only by touching the body of the Supreme Lord, but simply by hearing about his pastimes, chanting his glories, touching his feet, and offering worship. In other words, by serving the Lord somehow or other, one is purified of material contamination. This is the result of touching the Supreme Lord. One who is a pure devotee, Anya Bilashita Shunyam, who acts according to the Shastra and the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, certainly becomes purified. Like Gajendra, he assumes a spiritual body and returns home back to Godhead. Oh, what a blessing Prabhupada is giving in this purport. And what encouragement. Whenever we are feeling down in our life, we can come to this purport and read this purport and feel rejuvenated. That's the beauty of Srila Prabhupada. He, the stage that he is talking about, the getting liberated from material existence and going back to the spiritual world, is the highest stage. And by looking at that, we might feel daunted. Oh, it's so high, so elevated a stage. Will I be able to reach that stage? No, I feel so unqualified. I might not, and we might not, but he's making it very simple and accessible. He brings it down to our level and say, hey, we all can do it. We all can attain to this stage. So he is giving the example of Dhruva Maharaj also. What happened with Dhruva Maharaj? He was just a 7-year-old boy. He got insulted by his stepmother. So he goes running, crying to his mother. And mother says, can't help it. She is not only the stepmother, but she is also the queen. So she is sitting on the throne along with your father, and her son will sit on the throne after them. So what she says is true. So who can change this? Only Supreme Lord Narayan can change this, the mother says. So Dhruva asks, where can I find him? Oh, the learned sages come to the city and palace, and when they are speaking, I have heard that Lord Narayan can be found in the forest. That's it. In the middle of the night, when everybody is sleeping, this 7-year-old boy, without fear, goes into the forest, leaving everything behind, the comfort of the palace, comfort of his mother, everything, because he's so hurt by the words of his stepmother. So this word quickly reaches all the people, personalities in this heavenly planets, and also reaches Narada Muni. So he comes to check out who is this 7-year-old boy who is going to seek out Lord Narayan in the forest. So he comes and sees, and all those wonderful things happen. Finally, he gives him step by step direction what he should do. Within 6 months, this small 7-year-old boy got darshan of the four-armed form of the Supreme Lord. And when he saw that form, he was stunned by the beauty. Oh, what a wonderful, beautiful form. Oh my God. He's just like staring in awe and astonishment at the beautiful form. So the Supreme Lord at that time reaches with his hand. He's holding in the four hands, one of the hand is holding a conch. So he reaches out and touches the conch on the head of Dhruva. That's it. Ah, just like Gajendra being touched by the Supreme Lord here, the conch, transcendental conch. What is the name of the conch of the Supreme Lord? Panchajanya. So he reached out with the conch and touched him. All material ignorance and all those material existence went away. So here Prabhupada is saying Gajendra achieved the spiritual form, and Dhruva was still a 7-year-old boy, but his material form is no more. His material form got spiritualized just by the touch of the conch of the Supreme Lord. And that's it. Rest of the life he was like always remembering the Supreme Lord, always engaged in bhakti. So, okay, this is for these personalities who could see the spiritual form of the Supreme Lord. What about us normal souls? What is the hope for us? That's where Prabhupada comes in. He says, similarly, we have the Archa Vigraha, Murtis, the deities at our home or in our temple. So we have to go. Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, we have to go and see the form of the Supreme Lord. Their devotees, with their love and devotion, dress and decorate the deities in so wonderful way every single day. So just by seeing with our own eyes that beautiful form, we are blessed. But more importantly, we are being seen by the Supreme Lord. So coming in front of the deities has that effect. We are also seeing, but more importantly, the Supreme Lord is also seeing us. And in our DC temple, we have Gauranita deities, we have Radha Madan Mohan, we have Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. So all of them are seeing us how fortunate we are, how beneficial it is. So we get opportunities to serve the deities. Oh, only Brahman initiated devotees can serve the deities. No, we all can serve the deities. How? Anywhere in the temple room, anywhere in the temple property, any single activity, any single task, any menial task that we do, just picking up a trash and putting it in the trash bin, and then sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, washing the pots. There are so many different services. Every single service that we do is directly serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So that's why any place where we have such a temple and we can go and take darshan and be seen by the Supreme Lord, and also do all these services at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, we are also getting the same benediction and blessing is what Prabhupada is referring to in this purport. How fortunate we are. to be given these opportunities. So that's why Prabhupada says, in other words, by serving the Lord somehow or other, in whatever way, it could be just taking one chair, folding it, and stacking it. That is a service to Radha Madan Mohan. When we do this, what is the result? One is freed of material contamination. Hari Bol. That's it. What a wonderful benediction. What a wonderful blessing. And Prabhupada makes it accessible at the level we are at. He says, just do something one way or the other. Do some service to the Lord and His devotees. We become purified of our material contamination. That is the glory of devotional service. That is the costless mercy of the Supreme Lord and His devotees. And then he says this is the result of touching the Supreme Lord. One who is a pure devotee, immediately he goes, he refers the primary definition of pure bhakti given by Sri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. So what is Anya Bilashita Shunyam? So we don't have any desires independent of the Supreme Lord. Whatever the Supreme Lord desires, that is my desire. Whatever He doesn't want, I don't want that. So that kind of a mindset is what a pure devotee has. That is what pure devotion is according to Rupa Goswami's definition. And that's why the moment Prabhupada is saying one who is a pure devotee is close within parentheses is quoting Anya Bilashita Shunyam. So according to that verse of Sri Rupa Goswami, when we fulfill all the criteria that he has listed in that verse, that person is performing pure devotional service and that person is a pure devotee. And then we have to act according to the Shastra, scriptures, and the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When we do these things, we automatically become purified. So that is what our goal should be at. That is what we should be aspiring for. Act according to the scriptures, according to what our Guru and our Acharyas have given, because they have not given anything outside the scriptures. They are exactly telling what should be done, how it should be done. And then the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many things are coming in Bhagavatam and the entire Bhagavad Gita. Whatever the philosophy, knowledge, everything that has given directly from the mouths of the Supreme Lord. So when we do this, we are certainly going to become purified, is what Prabhupada is emphasizing and encouraging and inspiring us to do. So we have to make that as our lifetime goal, and we should be greedy for this. Oh, I want to become pure, no material contaminations. I want to be with the Supreme Lord and play with Him, have fun with Him and His devotees. When we read about in Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna, along with Balaram and his cowherd friends, they go even before the sun has risen. They have woken up, they have taken their bath, they have been dressed and decorated by Mother Yashoda and Rohini lovingly. And all the other boys, they all carry their breakfast, lunch packs with them. And they are taking their calves into the Vrindavan forest. What are they doing there? They are having fun, they are playing. They are jumping on Krishna. They are putting their feet on Krishna's body and climbing on top of him. They are arm wrestling with him. Non-stop fun with Krishna and Balaram. Oh, how fortunate they are. We should be greedy to reach that stage. And Prabhupada is making it very simple what we have to do to achieve that stage. We have to act according to the Shastras and we have to follow the words of the Supreme Lord and His representatives, the devotees, Guru and Acharyas. That's it. We are bound to become purified by that. Okay, let's stop here for the day. We have covered quite a few verses on chapter 4. Let's see if there are any comments, discussion, questions pertaining to what we discussed today.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Madhavat Pranam to you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. It's amazing that we were able to have your association. And Prabhuji, in the beginning of your class, you mentioned about you said that curse is generally not considered,
A punishment.
punishment. Yeah, but basically, it's like a benefit. It's a boon, right?
In a long-term basis, if we see the complete picture, yes.
Yes, but this is in connection to Vaishnavas devotees. But sometimes what happens is that there are curses made by people who are not very good. I mean, like in the sense who have a demoniac mentality.
Oh yeah, their
How do we
curses are
understand?
not even, their curses are sometimes might not even work.
Might not work. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because for the curse to work, they should have some kind of a spiritual potency, first of all. And for to have a spiritual potency, that person has to have done some, because when you see all these demoniac personalities, asuras, they might do tapasya and get some power, but they do not, they with their power, they can cause harm to others. But they do not have the power to curse others and do something else. We don't see that happening with these asuric personalities. They have powers, but they don't have the power to curse. The power to curse comes only with some spiritual personality. We see Vishwamitra, we see Durvasa Muni, we see the Devala Rishi, we see Naradam. They all have spiritual potency of various strengths.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, like for example, if we kind of just like remember the Damodar Leela, in which Nilakuvera and they were
Yeah.
cursed by Narada.
Mhm.
So, is it that Narada was uh, giving a punishment because he got a little bit angry? So he said, "Okay, your punishment is going to be that
No, it was not. He
or
was saddened by looking
uh,
at their behavior, and the description goes multiple verses. What was Narada Muni contemplating? How can I rectify this behavior of these two boys of Kuvera? What can I do? So it was not just in a fit of anger, say, okay, I curse you to become trees and walk off. No, he said, okay, what is the proper thing that will rectify their current consciousness? Okay, let them stand as trees for thousands and thousands of years. Let them undergo that kind of an existence. See, for a soul to be trapped in a material body like a human form is itself is a restriction. And now, when you are being downgraded all the way to the form of a tree, you cannot even move. You cannot even protest. E- Anything anybody does, including the nature, they have to just stand there and take it in. They are feeling it, they are experiencing it, but they cannot stop it. How, and then let them go through that to rectify, and then finally let the Supreme Lord Krishna, when he comes and plays in the courtyard of Maharaj Nanda, let him deliver these two boys. That was the intention of Narada Muni. And when Krishna, being tied to that mortar, when he is saying, oh, my devotee Narada has given this. So I have to fulfill the words of my devotee Narada. So let me go and deliver those two living beings. Just because of Narada only, they came under the radar and attention of Krishna. Otherwise, they would not even they would not even show up on his radar.
mm,
That was the benediction. And then when they got liberated, they saw, and what form they saw? A baby form of Krishna. You cannot even see that form in the spiritual world. They were so blessed. Why? Because they got the the benediction from Narada Muni in the form of the curse.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you so much. It's very nice. Actually, it's whatever we hear from Bhagavatam, it is at a total different level. And like you said in the beginning of the class again, that curse is like not considered very nice. Oh, this person cussed me or cursed me. You know. So basically, in the material world, when people are cussing and cursing and doing all these things, we should not bother about it. But we should be very mindful that we do not offend a Vaishnava.
Yeah, well, offend any living being. We have to minimize how we are impacting others in a negative way. So we have to like reduce all that with our words, with our actions. Any living being that is living around us.
So, Prabhuji, lately from the call or somewhere else, I do hear other lectures. I heard that any word, yeah, from um, Nitai Sevani, Mataji, I heard any word coming out from the mouth, you have to be very careful because there can be repercussions or it goes around the universe.
Oh
And
yeah.
does something about it. What does it say about what does the Bhagavatam say about that?
No, it is the universal principle is that we have to be very careful not to offend anybody, harm anybody in any way. That means not only the Vaishnavas, not only the fellow human beings, every other living being, including Mother Earth and material nature. We have to be very careful. The footprint that we are leaving behind after our existence should be very minimal. One example I will give. Srila Prabhupada's sister, Bhavadarani Mataji, the moment she gets up from the place she is sitting for even a minute or so, she carries a small cup of water. She immediately sprinkles water to purify that place. Oh, I have contaminated it, so it should be purified. Every single place where she is sitting, when she gets up, she does that. She has that habit. So that's how these Vaishnavas conduct themselves, because I don't want to contaminate with my words, with my actions, with my existence. Very elevated consciousness. But on the other hand, the other opposite extreme is some people think that they are God's gift to this entire creation. They just go like an elephant goes and crushes and crashes anything on its way. Two different extremes of consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your association in class. I would like to ask others to also come on the call and ask questions. And if they also can be visible, be nice because since Prabhuji is visible, and I remember one speaker who came, he said that so I'm visible, other person should also be visible. So, we are very personal.
Yeah.
One
So
for,
in connection to that,
Hmm.
we hear about in Puranas and Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, the divine voice that comes without we don't see the form, but we only see the voice. So let's not be like that. Let's also see the form with the voice.
Like not be at the Brahmajyoti level.
Yeah, that like the Asariri level.
Yeah.
We all have forms, so we can,
Yes.
without shyness, we
It's so nice
can.
that we don't have to drive a certain number of miles to go to temple to see devotees. Online, we're able to see devotees from all over the America, even India, for that reason. So
Mhm.
anybody has. So I will close my this thing now, and anybody has question, comments, please ask. And there were two comments from. One is Malini
Hi,
Madhaj.
Krishna
Yeah, you can read the comment. Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Pranav.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Geeta. I'm actually at the ISKCON temple right now in Maryland. Anyway, Prabhuji, I wanted to ask you about, you said the baby form of Krishna. So I didn't get it. Why did the Lord show the baby form of Krishna to these two people who
No,
got
he did not show. He was playing in his father's courtyard. He was exhibiting those pastimes only for those very elevated devotees. But at the same time, Narada Muni had said these two sons of Kuvera will be liberated from the tree form by Krishna. So he remembered that, oh, my best devotee, Narada, he has given his word. I have to fulfill his word. So my devotee's word should never fail. That is the mood of Krishna. So he says, okay, because of Narada Muni, I am going to go and deal with these two personalities. Otherwise, they would not even have been looked at by Lord Krishna. So he goes and delivers them from the tree form, and they come back to their original form as the sons of Kuvera, and they pay their obeisances and offer prayers to the beautiful baby form of Krishna, and they go back purified without
Acha,
material contamination.
I didn't get it. Actually, that's right. They were in Lord Krishna's house. So that
Yeah,
baby form.
in the
Right.
courtyard, in the
Yeah.
backyard of Nanda Maharaja's home, these three two, because they have been standing there for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And then later on, when Krishna's pastime is about to happen, it so happened that it became the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Surinder Prabhu.
Prabhuji, no question. I just came on that one. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rajiv Prabhu was about to speak something. Can you, if you are there online, you can unmute and speak.
Prabhuji, I was just reading one comment by Malini Mataji. Hello, Prabhuji. Wonderful class on purification and beautiful explanation about Krishna. Your talk was so mesmerizing about the beauty of the Lord. It really makes one to get very close to the Lord. Thank you very much. So, yeah, very nice comment by Malini Mataji. I think some devotees have to leave because it's a work week. So, but if anybody has any comment question, otherwise we can
I
end
see
the call.
Malini Mataji on the call. You can unmute and speak. We would like to hear you and if possible, see you as well. Thank you for your wonderful comment. It's encouraging that whatever I am speaking is at least proving a little bit helpful to others.
Yeah, hello, Prabhuji. I've started very recently into this group through Pranita Mataji, and I feel really like it's so nice hearing every morning.
Yeah, we are so blessed. And Prabhupada has given this practice of starting the day with chanting, doing Mangalarti chanting, and then hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So blessed.
Yeah, I am new to all this, but I'm slowly getting like trained to get deeper into this knowledge of Krishna. And it's really wonderful. It's a very beautiful experience I'm going through.
And may that experience multiply millionfold.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. I wish Prabhupada Guru Maharaj.
Can we see your brilliant devotee form?
No, Prabhuji.
We are being deprived.
Next time I will show you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you so much for this wonderful class. As always, you explain so nicely about the verses, and this is a new chapter. You compile all the summary of last chapter and gave heads up to all the new chapters. So that was wonderful, Prabhuji. You did four and 5 verses, Prabhuji, right?
We reached all the way up to 6.
6, okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
If nobody has any question, comments, then we can end the call.
There is one more.
Okay, that's nice. Anybody else wants to come on the call and give any comments or question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. This is Premanandini from Ashburn, Virginia. Prabhu, just wanted to thank you for the wonderful class and really appreciate every single word you said. Like, it was something that I could process. You spoke in such a way that was such a clarity in everything that you presented. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So, Prabhuji, that is the birth name of Mataji is Pranita Mataji.
I know her.
Oh, yeah, okay. She's the one who bought Malini Mataji. Yeah. I just came to know today, so thank you.
I know her and her family a long time.
Okay. Premanandani Mataji, right? Mataji, did I get your name right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Premanandani Mataji ki jai from being
Jai.
Malini Mataji. Hare
We were also fortunate to be present during that initiation ceremony when she got her spiritual name.
Oh, very nice.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your blessings. And thank
And
you
I,
so much, Rupini Padma Mataji, Shamrasika Mataji, everyone. I'm grateful to all the devotees for all my entire journey until now and going forth. Thank you so much. Please keep me in your prayers.
Yeah, a grateful
Yes,
heart is the one that is going to make the most progress in bhakti.
and I'm also thankful to Rasika Mataji, who sends promptly all the text messages about the class, which is motivating me to join on time.
And not only that, she is the one who is going after all the devotees who are coming
Yes,
and
very
giving
true.
classes here. She
Yes.
goes and requests them, "Can you please come here? Can you please come? Can you?" And then for some unforeseen circumstances, if they cannot make it at the last minute, she has to reach out to others to give the call. So all those background services happen.
Yeah, she's bringing wonderful speakers. So, which is motivating people like me for beginners.
Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day. And
Yeah,
I
thank you.
should mention that Raghunandan, His Grace Raghunandan Prabhu is always there for giving class, ready to give the class. I text him sometimes early morning, and he says, "Okay, Mataji." He didn't say think any moment also. He says, "Just okay, Mataji, I will be there." So all goes to these speakers who are always ready to serve and give the nectar of the Srila Prabhupada and um, Bhagavatam nectar. And all goes to all devotees who join every day. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's pray.
Mataji will not take the credit, so let's go Hari Bol. Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol to everybody.
Thank
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have one one question from our reading yesterday of Bhagavad Gita, and when like all the people who died during the battle of Kurukshetra, did they all go back to Vaikuntha Lok?
No, no.
No.
It says their sinful reactions were nullified. That's it. Sinful reactions getting nullified doesn't mean that we get exit. We have to do something specifically to get free from material existence to go to spiritual world.
So did they go back to did they go to heavenly kingdom basically, right?
Yeah, they can go to the heavenly planets and but it's within the material realm only. So we have to just but they are all their excess baggage in the form of material reactions have been cleaned out.
Okay. Then they have to perform devotional service before they can go back to.
Yeah, everybody has to perform devotional service and perfect it, complete it like Bhishma Dev did.
Hmm. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Very nice class, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the beautiful class. It's always a pleasure to hear you, and I just can't tell you, very grateful. Thank you to Shamrasika Mataji. She really takes a lot of pains. The way she sends us the shloka, everything, the recording. So big thanks. So on the same lines that Nityanatha Mataji asked, I want to ask, when Virat Swarup was Thakurji, showed his Virat Swarup, was everybody in the battlefield could see him, or just Arjun and
No,
Sanjay?
not everybody could see one. Because when he is showing that the verse itself clearly, I will give you the vision also to see it. Only to those whom he gave the vision, they were able to see it. So all the demigods could see it in the upper planetary systems. Vyasadeva and other rishis could see it because of their spiritual potency. And because Vyasadeva blessed his disciple Sanjaya with the spiritual potency, he could also see it and narrate it to Dhritarashtra. So like that. So it has to be coming from the Supreme Lord or his representatives. Only those people could see it. But the Supreme Lord showed a partial Virat Rupa form when he went as a messenger to the Kuru assembly. So Duryodhana and others could see that partial Virat Rupa form, but still he remained ignorant and dumb.
When was that? When Queen Draupadi was being unrobed? That time when he came?
No,
That
I
is
said you have to pay attention. I just said now when he went as a messenger.
Oh, as a messenger. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
So yesterday we were discussing this when we were reading Bhagavad Gita. So when Krishna was speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, did everybody in the battlefield heard the Bhagavad Gita?
That's not the explanation we get from the acharyas. It was just between Arjuna and Krishna. But others were cognizant that some discussion is happening between them. But I don't think even Yudhishthira Maharaj heard that.
Okay.
But Prabhuji, everybody could see him, the people who were present in the battlefield as the charioteer of Arjun, everybody could see Lord Krishna. All this.
Everybody was seeing him as a normal person. Only few devotees were seeing him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah.
That was the stupidity of Duryodhana, right? How many times Vidura and Bhishma said, no, you are not dealing with a normal person. That's what happens when people get puffed away with their own powers and strength and so on.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Anybody else for comment and questions?
Other silent observers are encouraged to participate.
Yes, we have 15 people on the call. So I'm sure somebody else will have some question, comment.
Only 2 times people do not open their mouth. Whatever was spoken by the speaker was not understood, or everything that was spoken by the speaker was completely understood.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, wonderful class. Really, really enjoyed it. You brought up curses, so when I was living in the Dallas temple, I recall a devotee, a very senior devotee, cursing another devotee, another female devotee, out of anger. He was angry. He was angry. This is what I heard through not what I heard, but what I heard, but it was also true because he was asked to leave the temple. But he cursed the female devotee. I guess he was making advances towards her, and she did not oblige. She did not accept. And when she reported him, he was asked to leave the temple, but he cursed her. He cursed her very, that you will not go back to the spiritual world and this and that. How effective would a curse like that be?
Yeah, that's what happens when the mode of ignorance is dominating. And people also have to realize, like, just because I am practicing bhakti and it doesn't mean that I am a very elevated devotee like Vishwamitra, I have the spiritual potency like Vishwamitra Muni or Durvasa Muni, like that. When some curse like that is being given, their spiritual potency also reduces. People do not realize that fact. But they are so into this tapasya and austerities and all those stuff they are doing, they can recharge their spiritual potency. But anytime when they are doing something like this, not only cursing, so many other activities, there it requires spiritual potency to carry them out, and your spiritual potency starts dwindling unless you recharge it.
Yeah, because he was a married man, I remember. And
So, and
I remember
just because
that devotee was
just because I am, yeah, if I am offending somebody and the person takes that offense, then I might feel that impact. But just going around, when we see these cursing pastimes, especially by these saintly personalities, it is not putting down a person. Ultimately, it is uplifting that person.
right.
And
Okay.
I mentioned that in the class today.
Right. Interesting. Okay.
It
Yeah,
is
Krishna
with
worked.
the intention is to uplift them.
So this was not an uplifting curse by any means.
Yeah, it's not the intention of putting them down.
Right. Okay. Excellent class. I
Also,
always love
I wanted to
listening
add
to
a
your
comment.
classes.
I wanted to add a comment. Like when I to Mataji, like for example, in the material world, when people curse, it doesn't really make a difference. Similarly, everybody in the temple who is a devotee is not a true devotee. They might be a devotee like we hear wearing a kanti mala and a Vaishnav dress and a tilak, but inside they're going outside eating all kinds of things and doing all kinds of things. So we don't know how much they're following, because there are a lot of people who just come to the temple and they are uh, they have a different life outside.
Which is,
Yeah.
see, let's be very clear. One thing that we can learn from directly from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when the bull is having a conversation with Parikshit Maharaj, the bull refuses to identify and speak the faults of the other person. So we have to be very careful, because when we are speaking about the faults that we see in the other person, we decorate ourselves with those faults. So please be very careful about that. We might notice certain things, but we just pray to the Supreme Lord Krishna and then say, okay, move on. Otherwise, if we start lingering on those faults, or we speak about those faults that we find in other person, we decorate ourselves. Unless we have to be in the position of a guru or a mentor like that, then then there is certain allowance there to speak and correct certain faults that we notice in our student. But in other cases, follow the example of that bull. We read that purport that Prabhupada talks about in that, and what the bull says. Very, 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 we have to be very cautious.
Prabhuji, you were referring this to me?
Yeah, Judy, generally to everybody, like please
Yeah.
be very careful, because we are stating the facts, but even when facts are stated, we have to be very careful. So,
Mm.
because the moment we are describing the fault in the other person, we are decorating it on ourselves. So let's be very careful about that.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, like in reference to this, like, I was talking to my daughter and she's also practicing devotional service. So, one some lady came to her and she became associated with her. And then she says that, you have a lot of complexes. So she told me that earlier, when anyone told me that I have complexes, I would actually think before. She was just talking to me, saying earlier, if anybody told me there is so much of change in her when she's in Krishna consciousness now, that she used to start feeling I have like inferiority complex or whatever that superiority complex they talk about in the material world. But then later on, when this Mataji told her, she said that it's okay, like if I have it, I have it, it's okay. Because but then she didn't say anything to her, but she told me that normally people have those inferiority complexes in them, and that is running in their mind. They have inferiority complex or any kind of complex, and that they think others also have, so they say to the other one.
Yeah, we project. We project
Yes.
what we notice in others, it is there in us. So we have to be very careful. That's why the previous point that I was making also was on a similar lines. We have to be very careful, because when we are noticing something in others, the first thought that should go is, oh, I'm noticing it in them, means I have it in me. So what can I do to work to remove that?
Yes, yeah. That's the point I wanted to, to re-emphasize, because I was talking to my daughter when she said this. I said, let me just. I'm really thankful to Mataji. She brought this up. So I was sometimes I reconfirm things because she told me this, and I'm like, no, 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 don't say like that about her. I said no, because she said, I felt over the time that she has, but every time she meets me, she tells me I have. So I just don't because of my bhakti, it doesn't affect me. I don't feel those complexes in me. And it's okay if she says it, fine, because she's maybe in the mode of ignorance or passion or whatever. So
Somebody is coming and telling me I can look into myself and see if I have that. And if I
yes,
have that, we can at least mentally thank them and say, oh, thanks for pointing that out to me. Not everybody comes and points out what I have, what I don't have. So yeah, then I can work on it, because it might be in my blind spot. I might not have noticed it. But when I have carefully looked at it, or if I am not able to recognize it in me, I can go to somebody who I trust really very well, like my mentor or a guru, and then say, okay, do you notice that in me? Maybe I am not able to see it. Do you notice that? And if that person says yes, then say, oh, okay, then what can I do about it? How can I work on getting rid of it? So those are the subsequent steps. So those are all the things that go towards self-realization and um, self-improvement path.
yes, and also like one more line I want to say is, like, suppose I talk bad about someone, then what happens is that all the bad karma of that person comes to me, and all the good goes there.
Or at least a portion of it comes to us, and we already have more than that we can handle. And why do we want to take some more on our plate?
That's Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for answering these questions. It helps us also. And sometimes, in our life, when we come across situation like that, the question answers are very helpful, because you are at a personal level. You're asking question, you're getting that. Otherwise, when the speaker is speaking a class and saying these things in the class, by the end of the class or end of the day, we forget. But question is something which is so concrete, and thank you for answering that. Yeah.
Yeah, Indra Mataji has something to say.
Yes, ma'am, Prabhuji, I was trying to fix my camera. It's not showing up.
That's fine.
Anyway, I'll do it later. So it was a wonderful association and class, Prabhuji. That's the reason I came back again after a couple of years. Like I think after 6-7 years, I came back because I was missing the association of you as well as Radha Mataji. She's the one who introduced me to Bhagavad Gita. I started with Bhagavad Gita class. I didn't know there is ISKCON or something, so I'm very thankful to her that maybe Krishna has sent her, and because of that reason, I got hooked to the ISKCON and Bhagavad Gita and other Srimad Bhagavatam, everything. So thank you for everything. I didn't know there is a class. I just opened my WhatsApp and I saw, just logged in. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Radha Seva Mataji, for bringing Indira Mataji. And thank you, Indira Mataji, for joining again. So we would love to. We have every day this call.
I think it was Nitya Mataji.
Nitya Mataji. Haribol Nitya Mataji. So let's thank Haribol for Nitya Mataji and Indira Mataji. Haribo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Haribol.
Thank you. I thought Radha Mata, Nita Mataji's name is Radha Mata. Her initiation name is Radha. I'm sorry.
I am initiated name is Nitya Radha.
Yeah.
Nitya Radha.
Indira was
Eternal Nitya Radha Devidasi, eternally serving Radharani.
Very nice.
So, yeah, the class is every day, Prabhuji. I thought.
No,
because
there are multiple speakers come and speak in this on this call every day, but I come like at least twice a month or thrice a month.
And whenever we need.
And today was my turn.
Oh, Haribol, Prabhuji.
So yes, Mataji, please join every day and get the nectar. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can we end the call now?
Yes, Mataji. Anybody have any question or comment?
Everybody offer their prayers together to start our day. Vancha kalpataru.
Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhuvaya Patitani Parvanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
जय नमाचार्य श्रीदास ठाकुर की जय श्री प्रभात की जय ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय हिज ग्रेस
Nandana Prabhu ji.
नंदन प्रभु जी की जय
Jai.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम
For
Hare
your
Krishna
wonderful
Mataji, now we
appreciation.
can see you.
Yes.
Finally, we get to see you.
प्रभु जी मैं
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. I will stop the recording. Hare Krishna.
Krishna